Melanie was first diagnosed in 1995. Had shown symptoms since 1994, and not a lot was known about this condition back then.
I was diagnosed when I was 7. Went to the doctor. They did a urine analysis. It showed high protein.
With Chase, he started with the puffy eyes. Took him to the doctor and said, what is this? And the doctor said, oh, it's allergies. Keep the windows closed, turn the central air on, change his bedding.
Started to gain weight. Initially, my mom just thought I was eating a lot. And I'm sitting there telling her, Mom, I'm not eating anything.
It's just dangerous, my disease. If I eat too much salt, bam, my face looks all puffy. I can't see a thing. It's like when you look into the sun and you can't see.
I got a stomach virus. I didn't know what it was, so I went to the doctor, and the doctor took my protein in my urine and said it was high.
FSGS is a disease of the filtration mechanism of the kidney whereby it doesn't work as well as it should, and it allows proteins, large proteins, to escape into the urine. The result of that is you take on water, you gain a lot of weight. The 3 symptoms of nephrotic syndrome, which is a general term for these diseases, FSGS is high lipids, edema, which is swelling, and the spilling of protein in the urine.
So the doctor said to me, it's like hitting the lotto in a bad way, because you have a disease that nobody else has. It's very rare.
We knew nothing about this. Our doctors knew nothing about this. It's unique, but it's a challenge.
Three years of intensive medication, steroids, cyclosporin, all the steps. They eventually failed, and I went through my first transplant, after had gaining 60 pounds of weight, trying to go through high school and leaving high school because I couldn't finish.
He's on losartan, 150 milligrams a day. He's on Lipitor, 20 milligrams. And he's on 1,000 milligrams of Salicept and 800 units of vitamin D.
I get a lot of blood tests, and I have to take like 17 pills a day.
When Will has to go on steroids, everybody knows that our life is going to be chaotic. We can't go to the grocery store without maybe having a meltdown there. And the looks you get from people when your child is having a meltdown and you are at the end of your wits because you're dealing with this every single day, and all you need to do is go get a gallon of milk, and people are staring at you like you're a bad mother, and you just want to say, my child is on steroids. My kid, you don't know what it's like, so don't judge me.
From a parent's perspective, he had the disease since he was 13. And by the time we recognized that he had this disease, his kidneys already had failed.
It's not really the disease itself, it's the medication and the side effects. But this, you don't have an option. You just have to take the medication and deal with it every single day, going up and down. It's really like a roller coaster. I was on peritoneal dialysis in 4th grade. Dad donated a kidney to me. Unfortunately, the disease came right back, did the same thing to his kidney. Those 2 years were probably the worst 2 years of my life. Probably very close to death a couple of times.
When I was 19, I started dialysis. My kidneys failed. My dad gave me a transplant a couple months later, but the nature of FSGS is it recurred in the transplant, and it just destroyed the transplant. And I was on plasmapheresis. I had about 100 treatments.
I was scheduled to get my dad's kidney, but then we got a cadaver 3 weeks earlier.
I agreed to give my kidney, and I'm always willing to. In fact, today I just found out again that I'm able to give my kidney, and we're going to go down that path again.
My doctors from North Shore had told me that they wanted me to sign up for a transplant with my father. My father went in. He gave me his kidney, and back then it wasn't laparoscopic. They sawed him in half, basically. They cut you right in half, from from your belly button to your back, and they take out a rib, and they take out your kidney. And the next day he walked up to my room when the doctor said you shouldn't go anywhere, and I was in tears the whole time. And then he told me my disease came back. It just shocked me and my parents, and I didn't know how I was going to go on from there. So I had 4 kidney transplants, 2 from cadavers, 2 from family related, all with dialysis in between. Currently on dialysis now. I do nocturnal dialysis overnight, 5 nights a week. And in here is basically my kidneys. So this is a dialyzer. The blood comes through these tubes. One end of these tubes will come, the red end will go into one side of a needle on one side of my body, and the blue in my arm, and the blue one will go into the other side of my arm. And the blood that goes through will, by osmosis, the bad stuff comes out of the blood into the fluid comes out and goes down the drain. The blood comes through the other end, goes down through the tubes to the blue side, and comes into my body. So this is how I live. This is basically it. This is a kidney. This is an artificial kidney as it stands today. This is how I survive.
This is a huge task to take, I mean, literally a disease that affects each person so individually. You know, you can have breast cancer and, you know, they pretty much know how to treat it. And, you know, but with this, each child responds so differently, each adult responds so differently to all the various medications.
And because there's no cure for FSGS right now, they don't even want to give me a transplant. I've been to multiple hospitals because of the risk of recurrence is so high.
The financial cost is enormous, and it is very dysfunctional for a family. Not to mention the high levels of anxiety and stress, because the disease comes and it goes in ways that we don't always understand.
Right now I'm at the crossroads of deciding whether or not I want to go on and stay on dialysis for 2 more years, which so far I don't love, or do another transplant, which also I don't love. So I have to pick door 1 or 2, which both are pretty horrible.
You definitely have your good days and your bad days, but ultimately it made me a better person. I feel like I'm taking all the hurt, the pain, so someone else won't have to. So this is why it's important to me, because I just hate to see other people deal with it.
I lean on my wife. If I didn't have her, I would not be here today.
My hero is my dad. For him, he never questioned the fact that he was going to give me his kidney, and that meant so much to me.
We have a nephrologist, Dr. White, who we lean on all the time. I think she's one of the greatest nephrologists that could be around.
I mean, I guess I say some close friends. They don't understand, but they're there.
Having my parents, you know, being there in the hospital and going to doctor's appointments are never a positive thing, ever. So having both of them there for me every time is nice. You know, a lot of people don't have that.
Heroes help people that can't help themselves. And there have been times where, you know, we have not been able to help ourselves. But knowing that the NephCure Foundation and the group of individuals that make up, from volunteers to the members to the NephCure staff, people that came to FSGS versus FSGS coming to them.
The reason why we have the strength to keep fighting each and every day, the reason why we have hope against the greatest odds, is because we can lean on the NephCure Foundation every day.
I think for FSGS patients, you gotta really, you gotta enjoy life. You can't let the disease take over. If you let the disease take over in your mind and let it beat you in your mind, then you're done. But if you don't and you just keep fighting, you're gonna make it. I think I'm living proof. I've been living with this since I was 19. I'm 45 years old. I went through college. I got a bachelor's and a master's while I had FSGS. I got married. I have 3 kids. I continued to work the whole time. So I didn't let it beat me.
Melanie doesn't know any different. I often wonder what it'd be like if my daughter didn't end up with this condition. And she had kidney function. And I'd be amazing to see her with kidney function at some point in time. It's been an awful long time.
I'd take over the world.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you care.